would you be a good person to ask questions about the eclipse then?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, here's my big question. So if we have 94% totality in Chicago, doesn't that mean that only 6% of the light is going to be visible? Then wouldn't that be the perfect time to look directly at the sun? What is it about that 6% that is different or more injurious to my eye than any other day?
Yeah, the sun is, the greatest source of light energy in, our solar system. And our eyes are just not built to handle that, even down to the 1%.
Really?
Yeah, and so it kind of comes down to how the eye works. So the eye focuses light onto the back of the eye, the retina. It's neural tissue, and that goes straight to your brain. That's how we see images. Now, it's very similar to taking a magnifying glass and holding it over an ant. We know what that does.
Burns the ant.
Exactly. So the sun is so intense that even that 1%, and now it might take longer to get to that irreversible damage or any damage at all than compared to 100%, like a full day.
But you're saying that there's nothing special about the spectrum of light coming out, but it's simply you're looking at light, you fool. You shouldn't be doing that. So it's the same sunlight that I see if I looked up on a fully sunny day.
Correct.
I wouldn't be able to do that, but for maybe just a second, right?
Exactly.
But now I'm going to maybe be tempted to look at it longer, but I'm still focusing enough light to burn the back of my eye.
Yeah, absolutely. It causes a condition, it's called solar retinopathy. It's just a fancy name for like a sunburn of the eye tissue. And the only time you can view a solar eclipse with no filters or nothing over your eye would be if you are in the path of totality, so the 100% coverage.
Oh, really? So somebody in Indianapolis would not need the special glasses?
Yeah, just for 4 minutes while it completely gets covered. And you'll know when that happens is if you're using your filters and looking at the sun, you'll see these little beads form around right before the moon covers the sun.
Around the image of the sun, you're saying beads? I'll see little beads.
Yeah, they're called Bailey's beads. And that signifies, hey, it's time. The moon is right where it needs to be. And you, for 4 minutes, you are welcome to take off your glasses or any filter, anything you're
using. But it would be wise to have them on during the partial eclipse, if you will, before it gets to totality.
Yeah, so the rest of the country, including Chicago, we are just seeing a partial eclipse. So anything 100% or less is partial, and it's not safe to view without solar eclipse glasses that are ISO 12312-2 rated.
I don't know what that means. 123 dash. Can you do that again?
Yeah, ISO 12312-2.
He's double checking.
I'm just double checking my notes here. That is correct. And you'll see you can get those online. They're fairly cheap and inexpensive.
Adler Planetarium is selling them, and Warby Parker's handing them out for free this week.
Yeah,
while supplies last.
And that's one of the options you have. The other option, if you don't have that, is to make something called a pinhole projector. I would welcome you to Google that. Super simple craft project to make. Allows you to indirectly look at the sun. But really it comes down to just do not look at the eclipse unless you're in that path of totality.
Any more than you would look at the sun on a sunny day, you couldn't bear it for just a couple of seconds, and then you would avert your eyes.
Yeah.
I guess, but if I may,
yeah.
So then I could do the same damage to my eyes on any given day that we're worried about people doing that day.
Exactly.
Is it that your pupil opens wider too because of the lack of light, and so you're actually able to absorb more light, albeit less coming off, but you really are focusing that light on your retina then?
Yeah, not the pupil as much, because what we're really concerned of is our center vision. And that's what gets affected in this condition. So the pupil doesn't affect that as much because it's right in the center. We call that right in the visual axis, so right in the center. And your central vision is responsible for reading, looking at faces. So it's really important. So if we damage that, that's a big deal.
So I wonder what my vision would be like were I to suffer that. Would I have a black dot in my field of vision then?
You very well could. It's kind of like a scale. The more you look at the source of light or damage the eyes, the more things that can go wrong. So it usually starts with blurry vision, decreased vision. And if you look at the sun long enough and damage the tissue enough, you can get black spots and distortions in your vision.
Do you have a guesstimate? Maybe this isn't a good question to ask, but how long before I start to do damage to my eye?
It really depends on how much the sun is exposed. We try not to look at the sun for more longer than a quick couple seconds. After that, it starts. But, it just depends. If you're in a 99% area, You probably could look for.
Oh, that's right. It's a range depending on where you are. And in the field of totality, for those 4 minutes, you can take the glasses off and behold it.
That is correct. And that is the best eclipse viewing experience that you'll get.
Are you a doctor now?
No, sir. Not yet.
You're that close, aren't you?
1 year and end of May 2025, and I will be.
I get the feeling you're going to be a good one. This has been really helpful. Is there anything else, Roman, you think we should know about this stuff?
Not really. Just to, we really are worried about this condition for like kids. So make sure there's good supervision or special populations because it is a spectacle event. I encourage everybody to get out and look at this. Just for reference, the next solar eclipse in the United States is in 2044. The next one in Chicago is 2099. So get out there and get safe viewing.
Roman Somogy is a third-year optometry student at Midwestern University's Chicago College of Optometry. That's Midwestern University. Roman, what a pleasure. Nice to meet you. Very helpful today.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me.